When they're in high school, some teenagers feel pressured to take drugs and others feel pressured to have sex. If there's one woman who knows how unprepared teenagers can be to take those tough decisions and make a tough decision, it's probably Denise Stokes. She's from Atlanta, Georgia. And Denise was just sweet 16 when she discovered that she was HIV positive. She is 27 years old now. She is an AIDS educator, and she serves on President Clinton's AIDS advisory panel. And Denise, it's so good to see you. Nice to have you on the show today. I think the biggest thought is, and just during the commercial break, Denise, and you've heard the teenagers do this. You're an AIDS educator. Jay, Jackie, and Brandon were talking during the commercial break, and it's something that is kids, they don't think it can happen to them. And I think that that's what they all admitted, that they just don't think that life could be anything but glorious teenage life.
Well, I don't know. I was raped when I was 13, and that's how I lost my virginity, and that's there's a 98% chance that that's actually how I became infected with the virus. I did a couple of years later. I thought I was in love. I was 15. He wore Levi's. That's all it took. We were in love. You know, and I just had this strange misconception that because I was raped and because I had had sex, that kind of made me a woman, because I didn't know what womanhood was, and I thought that we should consummate our relationship and we had sex. And I come to find out later that that's not how I got the virus, but it was still a decision that I made that I wasn't ready for, and I suffered a lot of emotional repercussions behind it.
Plus, you could have endangered someone else.
Yes, I could have. And I did not know at the time I had the virus. As a matter of fact, when I was diagnosed at 16, I still didn't understand that it was a sexually transmitted disease. They just said, Denise, you have AIDS, you're going to die before you're 21. And I didn't even know what that meant. And being a kid, nobody else would tell me. Nobody wanted to tell somebody else's kid about sex. And Brandon, I know where you're coming from when you talk about doing drugs because maybe it made you feel better, it made you forget your problems, because I kind of got into the same thing. And I thought, you know, when I was 16, 17 years old, I thought I'm supposed to be at UCLA, I'm supposed to be majoring in journalism, I'm supposed to follow Dr. Maya Angelou's footsteps, but I was HIV positive, homeless, hungry, and in a crack house wondering what happened to my life.
You were in a crack house?
Yeah. And that was a better cry from the street corner. And I've really seen a lot in my life, and I made a lot of bad decisions, and a lot of it was because I just didn't know. There was a lot of things that I just didn't know. And when you are 15, 14, 16 years old and you go to adults with these questions, I'm talking to every parent in America, you need to answer your children. Because if you don't answer your children, they're going to make decisions that they're not prepared to make. There have been so many... And there was...
What are parents not answering? And are our children really talking to parents?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's nobody's fault. It's a human condition that we're in that we all need to pull together and deal with. Some parents themselves didn't get the education. I mean,
we just talked to Debbie, who freely admitted, hey, look, there's no lesson on how to be a parent, and quite honestly, I didn't make the best decisions either when I was a kid.
It's a group effort. I mean, kids, you can't just sit in your room thinking, gee, I'm in pain and my mommy isn't fixing it. You have to go to her and say, I hurt, this is what's wrong with me, and I really need your help on that. You know, you're really quick to go to your friends and ask them, but maybe your friends don't know.
Brandon, do you find you have enough people to talk to? Because I gotta tell you, there isn't a person in the world who will not admit that that's a heavy blow to find out that your dad wasn't your biological father. We understand that type of thing, but do you have some place that you can go and you can talk?
Yes, I do. The same person that was helping my mom, I could talk to her. It could be confidential, or I could talk to Carrie too.
Denise, what do you say to Brandon? Because I believe inside he has hopes of hopes, but it's kind of hard to dig out of that hole every once in a while. What do you say to him?
I say also, I can give you my number and you can call me collect any time of the day or night, because it's about having somebody there. And
yes, sir, Ricky.
I think that, you know, I can relate to what you're going through because I've been there, and I can relate to what you guys are going through because I've been there. We all have struggles, and we all think that we know, and sometimes it takes somebody else that's kind of been there to help pull us through.
This man is a parent. He has something to say. I'm going to take a break and let you talk when I come back. Also coming up, a man who has worked with thousands of teenagers who says that those heart-to-heart talks that you have with your kids may not work, may work. We're going to talk with him how to approach your kids, how to get through. It may or may not be tough love. We'll talk about that right after this.